You can sense the intensity as they await the arrival of the Tennessee team here at Leland Stadium. The number one undefeated Volunteers prepare to race onto the field. Everything is riding on this football game. So there's a special intensity, a special urgency. Here come the Volunteers. Wherever you listen throughout the world, it's football time in Tennessee.
What's up, YouTubes? What's up, everybody out there in college football land? That's right, it's me, Bobby C, Ed Couch Coach, Roadshow Sports. I'm hoping we can put on a good show for you. This show is for you guys. I've said it I don't know how many times. This show is your show. There's got to be some Bite Me's y'all want to give today. We've had a couple of Bite Me episodes where y'all could call in and give your Bite Me's for your sports problems that you have. And I know you Georgia fans have to have some Bite Me's out there. We've got a lot to talk about. A lot's happened. Got a great game. We had a great fan face-off between Pigskin Pete and Law Tide. Many of y'all have seen that. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It was one of our better fan face-offs that we've had in a while. But anyway, the Allied Oil and Tire hotline is open. I've invested heavily in the phone lines. We've got a lot of phone lines open for you guys, and I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what's upsetting you. Georgia fans, I'm going to start out with a Bite Me. Here's my Bite Me. My Bite Me is to Georgia, and here's why. Those of you that saw the Georgia-Texas game saw their quarterback after the game say something like, "Longhorn fans, we're back." Hey, look, nobody's going to challenge Tennessee as off-season national champs. And Georgia, you're letting Texas come in here and start talking all off-season with that loss. That was a bad loss. I don't know who you blame. I don't know if you blame Golden Corral for not kicking Jim Chaney out of the buffet line, or Kirby Smart, or the players, or just everybody. I don't know. There's probably a lot of blame to go around. So my Bite Me is to Georgia for letting Texas have something to hoot and holler about and kind of overshadow my Vols off-season national championship. This is like our 12th year in a row we were national champions. But Couch Coach, you're a Georgia fan. Who do you blame for that loss?
I blame everyone. They all stink. They play like a bunch of losers. They had a whole month to get ready for that game. They decided to pout. Kirby did a terrible job coaching. Chaney did a terrible job. No leadership. That whole team just played like a bunch of losers on a national stage. They couldn't care less. A bunch of 5-star talents with 1-star hearts, and about half of these guys are quitting as we speak. So I'm glad they're quitting. I hope you can make your money grab. We don't care what you do. I hope you transfer. I hope about 10, 11 more of you guys leave. We want nothing but Georgia guys on this team, people who are going to be proud to be at Georgia, people who are going to represent the G, and people who are going to fight their butts off in any bowl game that they're in, whether it's the Sugar Bowl, the National Championship, or the Piccadilly Bowl. So, yep, it was disappointing. They did the exact opposite of everything I wanted them to do, and we deserve all the Bite Me's and then some.
Well, you couldn't have said it better. I think everybody is to blame. Y'all had a botched punt where the guy hit his knee on the ground. And let's talk about some of these players going into the draft. You had a couple of them sitting out. Do you think Baker sitting out had any effect, or what is your opinion about players skipping these bowl games? And what do you think? What kind of door does that open up for in the future? What do you see that turning into?
Yeah, I think it absolutely had effect on our team. I mean, I don't think it's the only thing that cost us the game, but listen, I'm a big believer. There's, this book from John Gordon called Energy Vampires, right? And whenever you leave a bunch of people on your team that don't want to be there, they don't like the coaching staff, they're mad at the coaches, they're transferring, they have a bad attitude. And this isn't just a football team. This is a organization. This is anywhere you work. Whenever you have people that are like, oh, I want a bunch of money, or they start giving you a bunch of ultimatums, you got to cut those people loose. I don't care how talented they are. Justin Fields has to go. He's declared for Ohio State, and it is a piss-poor job on Kirby's part to even let him come, A, stick around for a month, B, let him go on the road with us to New Orleans. Baker should have stayed at home too. Listen, if you're not playing in the bowl game, you don't get the swag, right? If you work at an organization, you don't come to the Christmas party if you decide, hey, I'm going to quit, before that happens, right? So I think these colleges from here on out with their scholarships, things like that, they're going to start switching some different things because it just sends the effect. If you got guys on your sideline that say, I don't care about being here, this isn't important to me, then why would other guys on that sideline feel the same way? So I think it's a bad look for college football. I think they have to fix it. And when it starts affecting the money line, that's when things start to change. And I think we're going to see some changes in the future.
I tell you the one that really bugged me the most, and you've said it on a previous show with one of our callers about, being in a leadership position. And let me tell you something, Will Greer, you can bite me. I'm no West Virginia fan, but I'm a college football fan, and if I was a West Virginia fan, I wouldn't let you back at any games in the future. You bailing out on that bowl game cost West Virginia a bowl victory. I don't care what you say. That one probably bugs me more than any of them. But anyway.
Absolutely.
Let's do some shout-outs, and then we got a couple of callers on hold. And I see Pigskin Pete's in here. If you haven't seen the fans face-off with between him and Law Tide I had last night, it was great. Go watch it, and don't forget to vote in the comments who you think won the fan face-off trophy. He did a great job. But we got my mentor and one of my closest friends, BVD's in here, Tiger Nation, Aeromedical 67, Bruce Hucks. How you doing, Bruce? Great Georgia fan. Let's see. Mad Mike Sports. Let me tell you something. Mad Mike Sports has got a great channel. He does a lot of live streams like me. He's Falcons, Georgia. Y'all need to go check him out. You can hit that little red icon or profile pic or wherever you call it there, and it'll say go to channel. It won't kick you off this live stream, and sub him up. He's a good guy. We got Slim Mosley's in here. Slim's always in here. Great guy. Drone Tracer 88. Aaron Ross. Aaron Ross is always in here. He'll probably end up calling. Smokey Payton. I'm going to go back here a little ways. I've got a lot of things going on this computer doing these live streams. Another great Georgia fan. SEC Dogs in here. I think I saw Alan V back a little bit ago. Yep, Alan V's in here. Vol General. I believe that's all of them. Let's go to the phones. Let's see if we get some callers here. I'm sure they've got to have a bite me. I think I've got a caller here. Let's see. I've got a couple of you on hold, it looks like. But anyway, what you got, and where are you calling from, first of all, and what you got for us? And do you have a bite me?
How you doing, Catfish? It's the Vol General.
Hey, buddy.
From Nashville. And I'll tell you my bite me. My bite me is to Mike Urick for turning down the Tennessee OC job.
Oh, yeah. I heard about that. Why did he turn it down? He went to Ohio State. I saw my buddy BVD made a video about it. What do you think about that? And what are we doing moving forward in that area?
Well, honestly, I don't get to move at all because he had an offer from Tennessee to be ROC for about $1.3 or $4 million, and that's an OC title. And he turned that down to go to Ohio State as a passing coordinator for $800,000, which is basically a lateral move in payment from Oklahoma State. So he's from Ohio, so kind of get why he would make that, but when you have an OC on the table, I don't really get why you would go to Ohio State, even if you're from Ohio. And going forward, the names that have been tossed around, Steve Sarkisian fired with the Atlanta Falcons. He is a name. It looks like a pretty good, solid hire on paper. He's got some off-the-field issues he needs to work out. He wants to stay in the NFL, but if he doesn't have the offers, he will probably come to Tennessee. But he's doing everything he can to stay in the NFL because he's moved away from the recruiting, stuff like that. Jim Chaney is another name at Georgia. His name's been tossed around some. Tennessee would probably offer him.
Hold up just 1 second. Jim Chaney, I believe Couch Coach would probably love to get rid of Jim Chaney, wouldn't you there, Couch Coach?
You know what? If you guys want him, you can have him. I mean, he's not bad, but he ain't great. You guys have had him before, so it's whatever to me. I'm fine with starting over with fresh on everything anyway, but go ahead.
Well, yeah, Chaney's a great hire for Tennessee right now, and that's just because we're so far down on the list, it looks like right now. Chaney would be a great hire, in my opinion. It looks like y'all are going to made him the co-OC with Coley, or maybe something along those lines. You know anything about that, the Couch Coach?
What's that? I barely heard you.
I heard a Georgia fan told me that you have a guy named Coley. Did y'all upgrade him to co-OC and you moved Chaney to tight ends coach instead of quarterbacks coach? Is that true? Can you confirm that for me?
Yeah, and you bring up an interesting point there because I think that there's been some, political finagling there over the last year with kind of moving Chaney to tight end / offensive coordinator and having Scott Coley over the quarterbacks. And I don't think that's been lost on Jim Chaney. I think he and Kirby, there's been some friction there. It would not shock me if Jim Chaney took a job in the offseason. I mean, it wouldn't hurt my feelings. I mean, my general feeling on him is I think he's very conservative. He tends to do very well with simplistic kind of schemes. When he has to get more elaborate and creative, that tends to work against him. I would give him a letter grade of about C+, B- at Georgia. I just think that at Georgia right now, we're getting to a point where we need a little bit more of an elaborate offense. We need to get a little more creative with the players we got. And I think if you guys have a strong run game or something like that, I think it's good for Jim to kind of run that. But I think when he tries to do too much, it kind of, it's like a big log jam. So, I mean, he's not the worst, guy you're going to get. But, I think that there's probably 30 guys that you could probably get that can get you the same offensive production.
Yeah, I mean, I would take Chaney in a heartbeat, not just because he's a lot better than some of the other candidates on this list. Like, here's another candidate. Jeff Lebby is the quarterbacks coach at UCF, reports from Rocky Top Insider, coming out today that he is now back onto the hunt board. Lebby, again, the quarterbacks coach and a co-office coordinator at UCF, does not have play callings there at Central Florida. But he is back into it. His name went away for a while, and he's since reemerged, probably because he's getting turned down by your sister or something along those lines. And here's a name to watch. And then if all else fails, you have Joe Oswick and Will Friend that you can just promote to OC. They are also on the table. I don't expect an in-house hire unless everybody else I just mentioned turns us down. And I don't see any way that happens. But Tennessee continues to shuffle.
Well, we need to get somebody, and we need to get them pretty dang quick. But anyway, Vol General, I appreciate you calling. You let me know if there's any news in that area. You got my phone number. Give me a text. Give me a call, whatever you want to do. I'd like to know because signing day is coming up real fast, and a lot of players want to know who their offensive coordinator is before they make a commitment. So I hope we get somebody. I don't want it to be a disaster. I don't want to give Uncle Lou any ammunition to laugh at us. He's already got enough. But anyway, stay in touch, buddy. I'm going to grab another call or two. I appreciate it.
Yep.
We're going to go I see BVD's on hold. I'll grab him in a minute. We've got a Georgia fan been on hold a minute or two. You're on with Catfish and Couch, Coach. What you got for us?
Okay, man. This is Bruce Hooks. I've just been watching you a long time, and I like your show and everything. I think Uncle Lou takes it pretty easy on you. I think he likes you a lot, really.
Yeah, he's a
But
buddy
anyways,
of mine.
you know, being a Georgia fan this year, the taste in my mouth is a lot different than it was coming out of last year for sure. But man, so many things that happened. I mean, these kids running their mouth and everything and not going to back it up and not wanting to play in the Sugar Bowl. That'll be an honor to have played in the Sugar Bowl. But for the players that left, I think Nada's the biggest loss maybe that we'll see. Got a lot of kids wanting to play and waiting in line to play. So anyway, not a good way to go out of the season the way we went out this year. That's for sure. But anyway, you know, we got a lot of kids, you know, that and I believe that what was said this past week when I think Kirby denied it, that there was a problem in practice motivating these kids. I think he tried to preach it because he lived it when he was at Alabama when they got beat by Utah and Oklahoma at one time when they didn't want to be there. And he knew what that was like. But to get them to buy in, and they should have got their ass together and played some hard-nosed football here at the end of the season.
Yeah, I agree with you on all of that. And I think that, you know, here's the thing, and this is where my initial reaction is I'm really pissed at these guys right now like you are. I'm very aggravated that they couldn't get past, you know, the Alabama loss and move on. And I blame that on the players and I blame that on the coaches. But at the same time, you know, we got to step back from it and be like, you know, it's not the end of the world. I think that it was kind of a situation where, you know, Kirby got into a situation where he had to work on the defense a little bit more. He had to work on recruiting. It was just kind of a weird period. I think he made some mistakes.
I think that too. But I think you're correct there about the defense. And, you know, with the coordinator leaving, going to Colorado, that didn't help. And then I think the timing of Justin Fields announcing that he may explore other waters right before recruiting was a bad thing to do at that time. That could, you know, it could have cost us somebody, you know, that we maybe needed. But luckily, it seemed like everybody stayed home. But so many things, man. It was just, you know, it was about 5 or 6 different things that, you know, put a cloud over us and really laying that egg in that game. And you know, they were prepared for every single game. Maybe the LSU game, you know, that was a good wake-up call for them, that game. But after that, they played lights out, even up to the end of the Alabama game. But, you know, we got so many good kids coming in, a lot of kids remaining. We play hard next year and do what we got to do. We'll have another top recruiting class. So, you know, the dogs need to hang in there and keep their heads up and go to work. And we don't need distractions, you know. We need effort. And Tim really put it best, man. I mean, I hope Kirby and them players got to see what he had to say yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What all did he say? Uncle Lou made a video I hadn't gotten to watch. Do either one of y'all, what all did he say? It must have been pretty impactful.
Well, he just went back to his days of playing and how they felt when they got a chance to play in a big bowl game and everything. Which it was different back then. You know, you just had to, you know, it wasn't like you had the Final Four and everything like you got now. And outside of that, nobody seems to care. But players didn't sit back. And a lot of this crap, you know, it goes back some years. And Clowney at South Carolina was a good example, even during the season, pulling his butt out of games. And you know, Spurrier not doing nothing about that. And, of course, you know, that place turned into a dumpster fire with him over there anyway. It still is. But as far as our school goes, you know, our brand is, you know, sitting up here at the top. Everybody in the country is watching us. And we've got back up here. We're knocking on the door, and it's time to kick the damn thing in. And we got the talent to do it. And, you know, this is a class school, and we don't need to be anything but class.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Hey, man, it was good talking to you. I hear you on there all the time. And Catfish, thanks for letting me have my say, man.
I really appreciate it. It's for guys like you, fans like you, and all you guys that call in. It makes Roadshow Sports so good. This is y'all's show. Y'all make the show. I'm just on here trying to give y'all a platform to say what you want to say for the world to watch, and I appreciate you calling, buddy.
Well, people like you and Uncle Lou, man, y'all are the best. And I've been following you. I felt sorry for you for a long time. I'm not a Tennessee hater or anything like that. I mean, I know I've watched what y'all had to go through, and the Butch Jones era, and I think you got a good coach there now that's going to only do good things for you. And it's going to take a little bit of time, but I think you're heading in the right direction. But anyway, sure was nice talking to you, man.
You too, buddy. Well, we're definitely going to be back. I don't care what anybody says. My good friend and mentor, he's on the line with us. He's going to tell you the same thing. We're back. How you doing, BVD? Big Vol Daddy Lionel Richie's on the phone.
Boy, wouldn't these guys just love to know about this Lionel Richie thing?
I'm not telling them.
I'm not either. Maybe one of these days, sometime down the road, we'll fill them in. But that's another time.
Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate you having me on the Georgia call-in show here tonight, Catfish. I appreciate it.
The Georgia fans have overrun the Volunteer Roadshow, now called Roadshow Sports, because they've overrun us. But anyway, what you got?
Oh, I was just calling in to shoot the hockey with you guys for a little bit. I'm kind of tired, and I'm not talking about the last guy that called in, and I'm really not even so sure that I'm talking about Couch Coach, but I'm really tired of a lot of these Georgia fans whining about this daggone Sugar Bowl. I want to hear somebody come out and just say, hey, our boys came to play. We just got our poo-poo pushed in by a better team that night. And
you're not going to hear that because you're wrong. First off, Texas won by 7 points. So if they were as better as
come on, Couch Coach, come on.
Hey, okay. Well, let's live in BVD land for a second. All right. You're telling me that this team, this Georgia team, if it was a regular season game or it was the SEC title game, that they're going to get beat by Texas in the same way?
Hey, I don't know, Couch Coach, because it wasn't a regular season game. It was the game they played when they were appointed to play it, and they kicked the shit out of you guys. I don't want to hear about that. It was a one-touchdown game. They whooped your ass. Just admit it, man. Come on.
So Utah was better than Alabama when Utah beat Alabama. Are you saying that?
That night they were, absolutely.
Well, okay.
Absolutely.
So you're telling me when Georgia would line
Urban Meyer was coaching Utah that night.
No, he wasn't. It was some other guy. But
okay. Well, some other guy was better that night.
Let me tell you something. We line up against those guys 5 times at any point of the year. We beat Texas. Okay?
Blah 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 blah.
You don't
if
think
we line up against Vandy 5 times, we're beating them. I don't know, maybe not at all, but that's beside the point.
No, you guys will beat them a couple times.
Just come on, bro. Texas was better than you guys that night. Sure, maybe if you guys play 100 times, you guys win 99 of them. That may be true. But we'll never know that. Just like we'll never know if Georgia was one of the 4 best teams in the country because you guys lost 2 games. Probably you were. On your best night.
I've already talked about this year. This year was what it was. I mean, Georgia.
There's no need to even talk about next year. We're national champions next year.
You dang right, BVD. 15-0. I knew Georgia was in trouble when I seen Bevo and Uga going at it.
I agree on that. That was a omen.
Did you guys see what Uga did? He tucked tail and ran. They weren't going at it. He saw that the bigger, badder animal was about to stick a horn up his ass. He cut tail and run. Well, Uga don't have a tail. He cut nub and ran.
Well, that's okay because Bevo will be in a steakhouse before we know it. So it's all good.
That's a good point.
I mean, it's whatever, man. I mean, if these kids want to go out there and be immature, that's cool. It's not like the old days, kind of like how we are, where it's like, this whole sense of playing for pride. And I see this at every level of these Gen Z kind of kids. It's whole like, okay, if we get down by 30 points, let's try to at least not get blown out by 70, right? You see these high school scores that are like 70-0, 60-0 because this baby trophy generation doesn't care. So I'm just going to lay down and get steamrolled. Like, this is the kind of kids we're talking about. When they don't care, they don't care. So, whatever, get loose to the worst teams, all I can say.
Well, BVD,
I'm not really sure.
Let me ask you, what's your bite
Go
me?
ahead.
You got a sports bite me? Somebody you want to just say bite me to in sports? That's our show today. Who?
Bite me to the Georgia fans that won't man up and say we got our ass kicked.
Well, you just said it. What do you think about these kids skipping the bowl games? You've never shied away from saying how you feel. So tell me how you really feel about that.
Honestly, Catfish, I'm not really sure where I stand on that, because in one hand, I understand, you don't want to get hurt when you're looking at millions of dollars in front of you. But on the other hand, you wouldn't have a chance to earn those millions of dollars if not for the team that you've been playing for. So, the scales kind of balance for me on that one. We don't have anybody at Tennessee that'll ever have to worry about that. It don't appear right now. So, I don't know, man. I'll be honest with you. If it was somebody at Tennessee, I would probably be pissed off and call them a soaking wet vagina.
Yeah.
But, until that happens, we'll never know, at least as far as I go. If it was me, honestly, I'm just going to tell you straight up, I would probably – I might do the same thing, because if I've got a chance to earn millions of dollars. And, hey, for a lot of these kids, they never have to play it down in football. All they got to do is sign on the dotted line when they get drafted, and they're guaranteed X amount of millions of dollars, So I understand. I understand both sides. I understand the players that get pissed off and the fans that get pissed off and say, oh, you're not a team player. That's a tough one, man. That's kind of like the whole pay for play thing in college football. So that's how I feel, brother.
Well, before I ask you my next question, Hoss says me and you are crazy. He says we're going 7-5, best case scenario. I love you, Hoss, but you're wrong. We're going 15-0. I promise you that. But SEC dog, another Georgia fan, he wants to know what Catfish and BVD. He wants to know our thoughts on Jim Chaney. Would you take him back? I'll let you answer.
Well, obviously, I wouldn't have a choice if we signed him, but I don't want him back.
Yeah.
I mean, when he was here, he was with Dooley.
Yeah.
Who knows what he would be like with Pruitt,
Yeah.
This is just another embarrassing situation as far as I'm concerned. So we'll see. We'll hire the next, I don't know who it'll be, and then we'll see what's up.
Yeah. Well, do you want to hang on a minute, or do you need to go? We got a couple of callers on. What about our basketball team? We got Georgia tomorrow. Are we going to beat them by more than 20? I think we're going to get them by at least 20, 25 points. Where's that game at? In Knoxville?
Yeah, it's in Knoxville. I said 78-68 just because Georgia seems to play us tough no matter who's coaching, no matter what kind of team they've got. And I know they're not supposed to be very good this year, but until we lay the wood to those kids, I'll take a 10-point win.
Oh yeah, and we're gonna lay the wood to them tomorrow because we've got a heck of a team. Let's go to Aaron Ross. You can hang on or hang up, whatever you want to do there, Lionel Richie. Let me go to Aaron Ross at Maryville. The Maryville Rebels. How you doing, Aaron?
Maryville.
I'm doing pretty well. How you doing, Catfish, BVD, and Couch Coach?
Great.
Excellent,
What's up, Aaron?
Speaking of my Maryville Rebels, I wasn't too proud of the way we finished our season, but I guess when you're king on top of the mountain, so to speak, you can't always stay there. It'd get kind of boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have won a game or two in your history, so I don't think you're going to get any sympathy from anybody in the state, least of all Oakland.
At least of all,
absolutely.
BVD, he has no sympathy for Maryville. But anyway, you got a bite me for us you want to give out to somebody in the sports world that you just upset you?
Man, I've been upset, just like BVD said, with these Georgia fans. You know, I was one of the people saying that I believed that Georgia was one of the 4 best teams in the country, and boy, did they prove me wrong against Texas. You know, I mean, as a Vols fan, I'm not crying too hard that Texas beat Georgia, but as a SEC fan, I never like to see the Big 12 get a embarrassingly great win over us. So I'm annoyed with Georgia fans running their mouths.
Yeah. Well, okay. I mean, I'm sorry we hurt Tennessee. I'm sorry we hurt Tennessee fans' feelings here. I mean, I don't know what to say. You know, I mean, I don't
hey,
really
you
care
didn't
if
hurt
it's
my
not
feelings
full,
one bit.
I mean, it's, you know, like, hey, I mean, if these kids want to go out there and embarrass themselves, that's fine by me. I mean, it's whatever. I'm over it by now. You know, it is
Yeah,
what it
it sounds
is.
like it.
I mean, I am. I mean, we're 11-3. You know, I mean, Tennessee would enjoy to have an 11-3 season and choke to Texas. So I'm just saying.
You damn right.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I do want to say one thing about Jim Chaney. He was already at Tennessee once, and I wasn't a fan of what he was doing then. So I don't want him now. There's always the possibility that he could be significantly better with Pruitt than he was with Dooley. But I've been kind of in the mindset of been there, done that. So I don't want to see him anymore.
Well, to be fair to Chaney with you guys, I mean, that defense, especially that last year he was there, I think like 2012, was absolutely atrocious. I mean, there was times he put up 40, 50 points a game, or 40 points a game for sure, and you would lose games. So to be fair to Jim on that one, I mean, your defense was horrible back then. But I'm kind of with you. I think that's a retread. You should probably do something else.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, shout out to Bruce Hucks, I guess, in the comment section.
Yeah, he called earlier right before you did.
Oh, okay. I missed that. And I complimented that dude, too. I even said not including the guy before me. He's getting on me in the comments saying, get real. We didn't play dog football.
Alex Howard's in the house. Herbert Bradford, great Tennessee fan up there in Michigan. Vodka drinkers in here. What do you drink, vodka drinker? Do you drink vodka? Hoss 4107's in here. I don't know if I missed anybody, but call the Allied Oil and Tire hotline at 855-489-7623. What was that, BVD?
Catfish Gate City is in the house, as he always is on your show.
Yep.
And I guess I got to give him a shout out too, because his Gate City Blue Devils put the beat down on my Greenville Green Devils in basketball last weekend.
Oh, did he? Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, what else you got,
now,
Aaron?
wait a minute. Hey, can I play Georgia fan real quick?
Yeah,
Catfish?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, the Green Devils, they had one of their best players out because he's quitting high school early to go play for the Virginia Cavaliers and enroll early. So we didn't have a full team that night. They didn't get our Green Devil basketball. So, you know, if we played them 5 times, we'd beat them at least. Probably not at all, because they're just better than us.
All right, Aaron. I've got to catch another call or two. You're always a great call. Call back anytime. You're always welcome on Roadshow Sports, buddy.
I'm going to bail on you too, Catfish. Right. My daughter just walked in unexpectedly, so I'm going to enjoy the 2 minutes I might get with her before she rolls on. So,
all right, buddy.
Everybody have a great night, great weekend, and good talking to you as always, Couch Coach. No love lost for you, man. You're still my boy.
Sounds good, man.
All right, later, y'all.
All right. Well, we're going to go to the 606. Donnie Shepard's on here, Kentucky fan. Let me tell you something, Donnie. Tennessee is going to have.
Hold on, Catfish.
I'm holding.
Hey, Catfish.
I want to tell you something. Tennessee is going to have back-to-back sweeps of Kentucky Wildcats and basketball. I just wanted to prepare that for you right now. Get you prepared
Oh,
for
okay.
it. We're taking care of business. We're the big dogs now. How's Kentucky basketball doing?
I got you.
Has Calipari gotten over not calling timeout against Seton Hall like he should have and lost that game? What's Kentucky basketball up to?
I think they've got it turned around now, Catfish.
All right,
we're
good.
looking a lot better now. So I'm a lot more. I feel a lot better about the team now. I played so good against North Carolina, but the reason I called in was the reason I called in. I wanted to back up my boy Couch Coach.
All right, back him up.
Hey, Georgia didn't want to be in the bowl game, and anybody with any football knowledge can see that. They the same thing, like you said earlier, what happened to Alabama against Utah. It was the same kind of crap. I mean, you had a number 15 team against a number 5 team. The number 15 team lost to Maryland, for God's sake. Yeah. And then, Georgia was complaining about, we should be in the playoffs. And you could tell just by the look on their faces, they didn't want to be there. They panned over to Fromm there several times. He was joking and and matter of fact, that pissed me off. And Kirby Smart was on the sideline, that pissed me off too. It just acted like the coaches and the players didn't want to be. I mean, I noticed that right off the bat. Before anybody even scored, I noticed that.
Yep. Well, I have something to say about that. Mr. Smart better get his, what in gear for the next 2 years, because he's not in a position to lose games like we had with Mr. Mark Richt, who went 10, games a year and couldn't get over the hump. He's got to get better. He's got to be better. We're not in a position to say, oh, we don't feel like it and lose games here. And I think that, I hope that this kind of rattles his cage a little bit here. It's like, hey, man, these guys who want to go. If they don't want to be at Georgia next year, that's fine. But we're going to put Georgia players on this field who want to be at Georgia, who are going to play hard in the bowl game, because that's how we got to a national championship last year. So, that's just how it is with Kirby. And Kirby better get it together, because he doesn't have the, the collateral that Mark had. And he can't play the nice guy Christian card. So he better work it out.
I agree, Couch Coach. And what's up with these damn Texas fans? They've lost their damn mind. They think now they're world beaters. I'm not kidding you. I've argued with so many Texas fans in the comment section. It literally drove me nuts. They think now they're world beaters.
Yeah.
Well, listen. I mean, we gave them that ammunition, and to be fair, I think Lou has talked about this too. I think it's better for college football when programs like Texas kind of get back up. So I'm glad that, it is what it is. To the victor goes the spoils. I'm glad. I mean, they won the game.
Right.
So we'll see what they do next year. I mean, hopefully they don't have another 4-loss season. So
I gave the Texas fans their props, but then that's not good enough, man. They've lost their damn mind. They think they're coming up with this crap. They have a winning record against every team in the SEC. Let's see, everybody except for Bama is garbage. I was like, man, we're going to finish with 5 teams in the top 10.
Yeah.
And they're saying we're garbage.
Well, how about those Wildcats, by the way? How about that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I had to call and give my boys props on that, too. But, I mean, I seen you was catching all that hell. I had to call in and back you up. Yeah, I want to give my team props, man. Hey, and props to Josh Allen and Benny Snell for playing in the damn game.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's what you go to school for.
That's right. Well, we had a caller, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, right at the call-in show we did right after they announced the bowls, that said that informed me that y'all were playing Penn State. And I have to admit, when I first heard that, I said, man, Penn State will probably take Kentucky, the woodshed. So props to Kentucky for showing up, making the SEC look good. Y'all surprised me. That's probably one of my bigger surprises of all the bowl games. And I'm not kidding.
I have to admit, Catfish, toward the end of the game, Lord have mercy, flashbacks of old Kentucky was coming through, man. We basically kind of squeaked it out there at the end, man. It was looking really bad. I was really getting nervous there, but I have to give my boys props. They pulled it out. Not the same old Kentucky team. And watch out, Catfish, because hey, this ain't a one hit wonder. This ain't a 1 year wonder. We're gonna keep on going.
Well, don't start bowing up right now because we're 11-time in a row off-season national champs. And if Texas or Kentucky or anybody else that thinks they're going to knock Tennessee off that perch of being off-season national champs, they got another thing coming. So that's all I got to say.
Hey, well, and what you said earlier there, Catfish, about your team, I'm really proud of Tennessee, man. Tennessee's really doing good, and I'm happy for you guys. And hey, how strong are we in basketball, man?
Yeah.
SEC strong in basketball and football.
Yep. Auburn, Mississippi State. I think LSU's going to be there at the end. And I've always said when Kentucky was struggling, I said Kentucky will be there at the end. They always do. They always find a way. And it's going to be two great games between Tennessee and Kentucky this year. Maybe even three in the if you count the tournament. And I can't wait. I can't wait for March Madness.
Absolutely, man. I can't wait either. It's going to be a good one. And listen, it only helps. I'm glad that all those teams are good.
Yeah.
I don't want to just be Kentucky and dominate the SEC. I want the whole league to be good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like in football.
Well, I want the whole league to be good just as long as they know they're second and third fiddle behind my Vols. But anyway, great call. Appreciate it. Call in more. You're a great call. I love you Kentucky fans up there. I love everybody. So keep calling in, Donnie.
Okay, you guys take care now.
All right, buddy. We got a surprise caller, and it won't take you long for y'all to figure out who it is, but he's probably going to come on here and beat his chest talking about how much of a chance his Clemson Tigers have. And I saw his video. I think it was last night. Was that last night, Bobby Durkins? You made your video about Alabama?
Let me tell you right now, that golden gift from heaven that I put in video form laid out exactly what's going to happen Monday night. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you before I go any further. If it sounds kind of weird, I'm not in my normal bedroom that's where I do all my phone calls to y'all. That's where I get to screaming and hollering, and my wife comes up there going, "What you doing?" I'm actually sitting in my car right now running, so if I start talking real out of my head, that means the exhaust fumes is wet inside my car. When I start to slur my words and piss myself, it's when I roll the window down and get some fresh air in. So, but no, anyway, I tell you right now, I'm telling you, I had to tell the truth last night. Bama already believes they've won this thing. They're already up there saving. He's already picked out a color scheme for the next little trophy room. I heard that they got a little puppy that's going to sit there and bark for every national championship they have, and it's going to go to. And you know the name of that puppy? Tua. That's how much they talk about this guy. That's the answer to everything. You want to know how to cure AIDS in Africa? Tua. You want to know how to get you want to get more mileage out of your vehicle? Oh, we want to look at maybe working on the carburetor. No, Tua.
Hey,
I'm telling you,
Bobby. Law Tide's in here and Hoss 4107, both great friends of mine and Alabama fans. I got a math question for you. You asked it last night. What's 1 + 1?
Tua. That's it. But I'm telling you right now. Look, ACC's trash. Duh. We know that. But aside from LSU's defense and Mississippi State's defense, who's Bama played? Nobody. Absolutely nobody. Nobody. The thing is, both teams have not played a team in regular season like these two teams have played. When Bama meets Clemson and when Clemson meets Bama, that's the first time that either one of those teams has seen anybody like each other. And in the rest of the league, everybody else is whining. No offense, Couch Coach. You're a good Christian person. I appreciate you. No offense when I say this horrible thing. Georgia, if you didn't want to be there, just go ahead and decline the game instead of make yourself look bad. And yes, Texas, I agree. Talking a lot of Texas fans are talking a lot of trash right now. You know why? Because Georgia said they were going to come out there, drop their drawers, and lay a peanut-filled turd on top of the Longhorns to prove that they should have meant you didn't prove anything other than, you're falling apart. And you're right, Couch Coach. You're correct, Couch Coach. Mark Crick has a nice guy thing going for him. It's not going. Y'all ain't going to put up with Kirby Smart taking y'all to, right to the edge of being great and going, just joking. Let's turn around and go back. Y'all fired.
Yep. I agree. I think that. I don't have a real stake in this fight. I think Clemson is a great football team. No doubt about it. I'm an SEC guy, and I make no bones about it. We played Alabama well. Of course, we got them when they were a little beat up too, and I acknowledge that as a Georgia fan. So I think it's going to be a heck of a game. I think both offenses are going to make their points. It's going to come down to which defense can make those stops, obviously, and I think that the thing about it is you got to give Nick Saban the benefit of the doubt. I hate that. I would love to, but I would never mind watching Clemson, win another one. So I think you guys got a good program. You got as good a shot as anybody, honestly. You got the athletes to match up, and we'll see what happens. It's going to be a heck of a game.
Hey, Bobby, Bobby, before you go on, Hoss 4107 said something about you. I thought this is funny. I'm going to read it to you. It says, Bobby sounds like the old lady you talk to when you get your tag renewed at the courthouse.
So he knows my grandma. That's good. She's worked up there for a long time. And she says he owes a few more dollars on his taxes. No, I tell you right now, I said this a couple of weeks ago when I was on your show, Volunteer Roadshow. I said Clemson is going to win this game 34-31, and I have not backed down. 34-31. Monday night, call your closest Bama friend. Check on them. Get an officer from next door in the area to ride over and do a wellness check on them. Because when we hold that trophy above their heads, they're just going to be sitting there like somebody, like old records, skipping back and forth, screaming Tua to themselves and not knowing what to do, pissing their pants, going Tua. Can't go to work the next day. Tua. Ended up in the psychiatric ward. I'm telling you, that boy, he is a great quarterback. He's a great quarterback. Utmost respect for Bama and Saban. You can't help it. They've earned it. But every time Tua started getting hit, he started getting hurt. And every time he started getting hit, he started throwing interceptions. Yep, we're playing the best team that we've played all season. And so are they. We're winning 34-31. Well, listen, I got to go back. I'm here at a family reunion. I want to hear the great oracles that I have to spit out to them. But it's good to talk to y'all, and y'all keep keeping on, okay?
We will. Appreciate it, Bobby.
Bye. Y'all be good.
He's a riot, ain't he, Couch Coach?
He's something else.
Well,
South Carolina, guys, I tell you.
When Donnie called in, he brought up something. He just felt like y'all didn't want to be there. I guess he was saying y'all pulled an Auburn against Texas. I don't know what I think about that.
Yep.
Let's move forward. Let's talk about the last game of the season. Let's dissect it. And if anybody wants to call in and give a bite me, the Allied Oil and Tire hotline is open at 855-489-7623. We want to hear from you guys, but tell me about this game. What's your gut feeling on this game, and the point spread, is it still 6.5?
Something like that. I think it's like at 6 now.
Is it?
So yeah, it'll be around that 6.5, whatever. Probably through most of the week. Here's the thing, and I think both of these teams are very evenly matched. And what it comes down to is Clemson, the underdog, what they have to do to win this game. And I think it comes down to three things. One, you have to dominate time of possession on offense. The teams who have not been able to do that have gotten blown out by Alabama. They have got to dominate time of possession. That's one thing Georgia did a great job at, was keeping that offense, relatively off the field towards the end of the game, and then we just fell apart. So that's the big key there, is dominating time of possession. The next thing is getting pressure on Tua, obviously. Now, you got to generate that off the edge. I think the teams that had the best success against them was Mississippi State and Georgia. Georgia has a good secondary, which means they're able to come off the edge with some of their linebackers. Mississippi State had a great defensive line, was able to move some things around. So Clemson also has a good defensive line, and that defensive line has to take over this game because that secondary of theirs is a mess. So if they can't generate any kind of pressure from that front four of theirs, it's going to be hard for them because Tua is going to light that secondary up, I think. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be mean to the Clemson fans, but you let Jake Bentley put 500 yards passing on you. You let that Mon kid from Texas A&M throw that wheel on you. I'm sorry. I can't get those images out of my brain. So you got to get pressure on them, keep Tua in that pocket. When he gets in that pocket, he does throw some interceptions. And finally, they got to get some turnovers. They got to win the special teams battle there. If it comes down to an official's decision, they are losing that decision. I'm just telling you right now, 9 times out of 10, Alabama's going to get the call there. So they cannot let it get into the official's hands. But if I'm just looking at it honestly, I think it's probably going to be about a 42-35 game Alabama. But it would not shock me if Clemson won this game. I mean, Clemson is a very good football team, and they have the tools to match up. I just can't get that secondary out of my mind, and I think that's going to be the difference. I think Alabama wins it by a touchdown.
Well, BVD was on with us, when was it last? But anyway, when he was on last, he said he envisioned about every scenario possible except for Clemson blowing out Alabama. I have to say he's right on that, and I don't know how much these suspensions, and I don't know who all suspended. I know Dexter Lawrence's name was in the hat there, but I think that'll have an effect on it. I think that Alabama's going to be able to get to Trevor Lawrence. I think that Clemson's offensive line, what I've seen so far this season, is they have some lapses, and then they'll play some good ball on offensive line. They've got a great running back in ETN and what's his name, Feaster. They've got 2 or 3 great running backs that'll end up playing on Sunday. I think it's going to be a great game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. But if I had to make a prediction, I think it's going to underwhelm in the offensive category with both teams, and I'm going to put it about 28-21 Alabama.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
But anyway, anything else going on in sports? We got some. How did the NFL wrap up? I haven't followed much of it. Any surprises? Who's going to win the Super Bowl? Who's going to be in the Super Bowl?
I think it's too early, but I think that there's some dark horse teams in there, and one of them's playing this weekend with San Diego. I think San Diego has always been one of these teams that's like, why can't they get their act? But it's not San Diego anymore. Excuse me, they're L.A. Chargers now. But I think that they're a team that's pretty interesting, and they're playing the Ravens this weekend. So I would watch them. You got the Patriots and you got the Kansas City Chiefs on the AFC side, and then the NFC side, you got the Rams and you got the Saints. This is something in me that thinks that this is going to be kind of a different Super Bowl in that we're not going to see the regular favorites like the Patriots or the Saints. I just have a feeling that we're going to see an LA Rams in there. I think we're going to see maybe a San Diego, or I keep saying San Diego, maybe like a Chargers team that gets in there. I feel like these kind of fatty teams like Kansas City, I feel like they're going to fizzle out. It's going to come down to your quarterback play. And I just have a feeling that, we're going to see one of these LA teams in the Super Bowl.
I think you're right. I think LA, from what I watch, and I don't watch a lot of NFL, they started out great, and then they started having some struggles. They could be there. I think Kansas City might be there. I probably follow the Chiefs more than anybody. And crazy Ryan Strick, he's a Chiefs fan. He's got the Chiefs and the Saints. That might be it, Ryan. That might be the most true thing you've said since you've been following me. But anyway, Couch Coach, I hope tomorrow's butt whooping that y'all are going to take on the hardwood from my Vols, I hope that don't affect our friendship or anything like that, because it's going to happen. My Vols are on fire. We're the big dogs in the SEC. We're the king of the hill. We're going to be there at the end. We're going to the Final Four. You know all that. But, this I'm just excited. I wish we had another week or two of football, but we don't. Monday's the last of it as far as college football, and it's the best sport on the planet. But basketball's right around the corner. But y'all got Crean's a good coach. I think he'll turn you guys around. He's a lot better than Fox.
Well, what's basketball? I'm confused what you're talking about here.
Yeah, you'll know what basketball is when y'all get good, so I don't act like you don't know what basketball is. You're going to be hooting and hollering just like me. When my team's good, I'm on here hooting and hollering. But anyway, I appreciate it, guys. We don't have any more calls. I'm up here just trying to give y'all a good show. That's what I'm trying to do, trying to get you guys involved, and y'all make this show, and I really, really appreciate it. So everybody that watches me, y'all know what's coming next. Go Vols! Tennessee men's basketball team is going to the Final Four. Alabama's beating Clemson. I promise you that.